Okay, crafting emergency. I haven't created for I don't know how many weeks and I might be going slightly mad, so I desperately need to do something. I don't have any spare blank new canvases. I only have a few old ones, some of which I don't really like, so I've chosen one of those and I'm going to try to prep the surface so that I can reuse it. I've got 3 different methods that I've found doing a little bit of research online. I'm going to try each of them and at the end of it we'll see which one works out to be the best. So first of all, I'm going to try lightly sanding and see how we fare with that. Secondly, I'm going to just paint over it with a good old gesso and put a nice layer of paint straight down. And then finally, I'm going to try with the white spirit, or if you don't have white spirit like me, some nail polish remover. See what happens with that. So go make a cup of coffee and come back when I've done this and I'll let you know how I got on. So here we are at the halfway stage. We've got the sanded third, the painted third, and the nail polish remover third. So I'll just zoom in so you can see what's happened. You need to use a fine grit sandpaper and don't sand too much, because then if you do you'll make the canvas too smooth, you'll lose that texture. I think I have gone a bit far having a little rub there. So just remember to use a fine grit and it will kind of smooth over any lumps or bumps or anything you do have from any paint or glue or anything. But you don't want to remove it too much, you just want to really prep the surface so that future paint will take again. The layer of gesso there, it was a very thin layer, just brush it on. You may be able to see some paint still through. I have read that red paint shows through and it's very difficult to cover over. But for here, I think this is doing quite a good job. And then on the right hand side is where I applied nail polish remover. You can use white spirit paint thinner. I have read on certain websites, certain very silly websites I think, to basically give your canvas a paint thinner bath, but I can't imagine doing this just because I think it would damage the canvas so much and it would smell forever and it's not a nice smell. So I just put some nail polish remover on, let it soak for a little bit actually on the surface, and then dabbed it off with some kitchen paper. It's taken a lot of paint off, but it has smoothed it a lot, so, and obviously it smells, so I'm not so convinced of this method. And now I'm going to go away and paint and do my thing and see the results afterwards, so I'll see you again in a bit. So by now I've let my canvas dry and I've been working on it. I can tell you what I did. Obviously it's not finished yet, it's really just the background for what I'm going to do. But what I did was, you remember there was the sanded section, then the gessoed section, and then the nail polish remover section. I've painted over the whole thing in this kind of lilac shade. And then I did some misting and some stamping and some stamping with paint, and there's some more stamping with paint across the middle, which I'm not sure if you can see the texture of yet. But in conclusion, at this point I can say that if you can have a look at this corner here, probably can't see because of the light, but there's a part here and there's a part at the top as well where the paint from the original canvas still shows through my layer. And I didn't want to put too many layers of paint on because then it gets really thick and it gets, you do lose the texture of the canvas because the paint is so thick. Over here on the nail polish remover side, the misting took a very, very long time to dry, and there is kind of a flat sheen to this section, which is again a loss of texture and not really what I'm looking for. So I guess in conclusion I can say that the middle section where I painted over the original canvas with a layer of gesso is the best way to prep or re-prep a surface for painting. So if you fancy getting rid of any of your old canvases, I mean there is an argument for not doing so, but I really didn't have any reason to keep this one, so if you do, yeah, have a go, see what you think and let me know.